believe?
I think I'm a white man.
You think?
Yeah.
No, do you believe?
I believe I am a white man.
Don't you know that belief is a doubt?
How is belief a doubt?
Eh?
How is belief
Because
a
you
doubt?
cannot believe something and know it. If you take
wait, my poor brain, wait.
Hunger.
I cannot believe it and know it.
No. And you can only believe in what you don't know.
I like that. You can only believe in what you don't know.
You don't know.
That's why you have to believe it.
Yes.
Ah.
Now, do you believe in your mother and father?
No, I know my mother and father.
Yeah. So, but you might believe in Jesus.
I might believe in Jesus.
Because you don't know Jesus.
I've never met him.
You can only believe in what you don't know.
True.
So know that belief is a doubt.
Believe.
Now, do you know that you are a white man? If you know that you are white, explain to me how you know this.
Okay. My mother is Portuguese and she's white. My father is Scottish with blonde and blue eyes.
And you reckon they are white?
I reckon.
All right.
Yeah,
Listen to this conversation.
Go on, you tell.
If I get water,
Yeah.
it's quite simple, innit?
Yeah.
I get a black can,
Yeah.
a white one,
Yeah.
a blue one, and a yellow one, and I fill them with water and seal them.
Yeah, okay.
When you look, would you see the water?
You can't see the water at all.
What would you see?
Nothing, just the white or the black.
You would see the different colors.
The different colors.
And
of
if
the
you
can.
trust those eyes of yours,
Yeah.
you're going to believe that they're different, aren't you?
I will believe it.
Until you go and fucking taste them.
Correct.
And what are you going to discover?
That it's all just water.
All one. Oneness in diversity, we call it.
Yeah.
Now you see all these human beings that you see.
Yeah.
Who believe that they are Japanese, Chinese, blacks, and whites.
Yeah.
They are the same. And if you go to any one of them, excuse me, sir, what color is your mind? You see, you hear what he said?
He doesn't know what color his mind is.
No, go and ask a Japanese, he don't know either.
No.
Because we are spirits living in different color physical bodies. We are not our bodies. When you look with the eyes, you are not seeing me, you are seeing the body. Just like I tell you, when you look at the tins, you won't see the water, will you?
No.
Will you look at my body and say I'm a black man? That is a program. You was programmed from birth, yeah, to believe that you are blacks and whites. But you fuck all like that. You're just a spirit in a body full of the same stinking shit.
Thank you, my friend.
In this video, this black Jamaican man schools this white man about being white or being black. He asks thought-provoking questions to buttress his point. His conclusion was that human beings are spirits living in a body, and as spirits, we do not have any color. Therefore, we are not defined by the color of our body, but by the spirit that dwells in us. Let me know what you think about this also in the comment section below. That is his assertion. Let me know what your assertion about this also is in the comment section below. There is another video that states the advantages of being black or having melanin in your body. This lecture was done by Dr. Kihura Nkuba. He is a Pan Africanist. He is a philosopher. So let's watch the second video together. But before that, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, just locate the subscribe button down there and subscribe to the channel. So let's watch the video together.
Today, I will try to excite your mind and maybe show you that even a common man, once he realizes his importance, can become an important man or an important woman. But for a start, I want to excite you in this word called melanin. Melanin. Who knows this word? Who of you knows melanin? M-E-L-L-A-N-I-N. Melanin. Anybody? Huh? Okay, you haven't. Yes, she knows because she works for the Virus Institute. And you know because you're a teacher. But what about you? You haven't started learning, particularly if you're a black person, unless you know what melanin is. Melanin is a carbon that does not deteriorate over time. Melanin is your black skin pigmentation. Or in plants, it is equivalent to chlorophyll. But it is the most powerful thing that you can have. In terms of people, we gauge your importance on the amount of melanin you have. So we say the darker the better. The darker the better. Melanin is produced by an enzyme. You know an enzyme? Called melatonin. 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 So you need melatonin to make melanin. But for melatonin to make melanin, it needs a catalyst enzyme that we call tyrosinase 7. So you have tyrosinase 7 to work with melatonin to produce melanin. If you have internet and you look for melatonin, you will find there are over 100,000 products made out of melatonin, basically made out of black skin. So melatonin, melanin, and tyrosinase 7. If you have no tyrosinase 7, you can't have black skin. You can't. And in biology, if you have no black skin, they say you are depigmented, demelanized, or you are an albino. Yeah? You understand that? Yeah, Sebo, you know you have lights in the car. Yeah, just in case. So, if you have no black skin, you are an albino. In biology, white people are called albinos. And the word white comes from the Latin word albinus, which means white. So in biology, you have somebody who is depigmented, which means he has no pigment. Demelanized, who has no melanin. And if you are depigmented or no melanin, it means you are an albino. If you have melanin, it means you are a black person. That's in biology. Now, this melanin is responsible for a lot of things, and I want you to write them down. I hope you have where to write, students, huh? Do you have where to write? No. Who said no? How can you be a student and not know where to write? You came for what? For dinner? Huh? Hey, Sebo, this is not a wedding. You came for a lecture, and an important one. Number one, it protects you against the ultraviolet rays of the sun and the energy from the earth. So, when the sun hits your body, certain rays are allowed in, certain rays are filtered out. It stops you getting skin cancer. Then it protects you against the energy from the earth, which means if you are standing, it anchors you. Like in electricity, you have earthing. Yeah? When something is earthed, it's not hit by lightning. You know that. So, if you are standing here with a white person and lightning struck, it would pick a white person, throw him there, you would remain standing tall, blessed of the sun, because of your melanin. So, number one, protects you against the ultraviolet rays of the sun. Number two, protects you against the energy from the earth. It anchors you. Number three, melanin is responsible for healing. When you cut yourself, if you cut yourself, you see blood, you see something red, they may be white, and when it starts healing, a dark skin comes and covers it, or a dark patch comes and covers it. That dark patch is melanin. Melanin sends reinforcement around the area that is affected and brings about healing. So melanin is also responsible for healing. Melanin is responsible for a sleeping cycle, how you sleep. If you don't have melanin, you don't sleep properly. You have what they call insomnia. Melanin controls fatigue. So you are not tired most of the time. So other people who don't have melanin, they have fatigue. If they travel in a plane, they get what they call jet lag. Then melanin is also responsible for something else, what we call a corresponding cosmic connection. It links you to the universe. You begin feeling something. You feel energy pulses. You know, there is a lot of energy that is here that you don't see. Energy you don't see, but you can harness it. For example, if somebody calls you on phone, you don't see the sound traveling in the air, but it comes to your phone. So there is a ultraviolet, ultra high frequency signal that comes to your telephone. Are you with me? So, for example, one way you can test a corresponding cosmic connection is when a black person hears a music pulse, a sound pulse, an energy sound. So if I say na 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 na, oh Africa, Africa, na 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 na, oh Africa, straight away you feel the rhythm. Even before you hear it pulsate through your veins. If it was a white person, they wouldn't feel the rhythm. And if they started dancing, they would be jumping up like this, and then they would do this, and they would not move in tandem with the rhythm because they don't have melanin. They do not have that corresponding cosmic connection. The corresponding cosmic connection also means that you could be seated here, and something happens to you, and your mother at home will see a leaf fall from a tree, and you say, there's something wrong with my son. Or you could be going somewhere and you see a rat cross the road, you say, this is not a good thing. So that nature works with you, not against you, to warn you, you are at harmony with nature. So that's another thing that melanin does. Protects you against the ultraviolet rays of the sun, the energy from the earth. Melanin controls hearing, melanin controls fatigue, melanin gives you a corresponding cosmic connection. But melanin also does something else. Melanin gives you dominant genes. Dominant genes. Now, you know the science of genetics. Yeah? You know genetics, genes. That science started around 1822 with a gentleman called Gregor Mendel. Gregor Mendel. Gregor Mendel was an Austrian from Austria, and he was a Catholic priest from the Augustine monks. He was an Augustine monk. Augustine lived around the 2nd, 3rd, 4th century AD, and he was the black person who lived in North Africa in a place called Hippo Regius, who wrote the laws of the Catholic Church. Because most of you think that, white people brought religion and they, and they taught you how to read and write. That's all not true. That's what we call his story, the white man's side of the story. It's not our story. It's not true. So I am just telling you that Augustine of Hippo was this bishop who wrote the laws of the Catholic Church. Now, the followers of Augustine are called Augustinian monks. And one of the Augustinian monks was Gregory Mendel, who lived in Austria around 1822. And in Austria, he was looking at genes, because at that time, white people were wondering where humanity started. Who were the first people to populate the world? And they thought that white people were the first people to populate the world. And at the time, Christianity was very heavy in Europe. It's not the same now. If you go in a church in England, you will probably find about 2 or 3 people, the priest and his assistant and maybe one other person, unless it's Christmas. So they were first looking in Europe. Then they couldn't find, the oldest they could go was 40,000 years. Then they went to Asia, the oldest they could go was 900,000 years. And then they came to Africa. And the oldest they could go in Africa was about 1.5 million years. So Mendel wanted to find out, using genes, inherited characteristics. Because when a man meets a woman, in Africa we say you have a spiritual congress. European people say you have sex. In Africa we don't have sex. We don't even have a word for it. We call it a spiritual congress. But when a man meets a woman, they exchange first genes. And the first genes they exchange is called nuclear DNA. And you share, almost equal sequence that sit on your chromosome. So you have a certain equal percentage from the male and the female. But there is a certain gene that the mother passes on to the child without going through the filtration process. That is called mitochondria DNA. Mitochondria DNA. Sometimes it's written like this. Mitochondria DNA. That one the mother passes to the child without going through filtration process. The father doesn't contribute to that DNA. So if we want to find out who is your father, we will just look at your mitochondria DNA. But the inherited characteristics pass through from the nuclear DNA. So Mendel was looking at these characteristics, and he was looking at plants to see what does a father plant give to a child plant. What does a mother plant give to a child plant? And then he went to animals. And Mendel concluded that if you began with white people, you would you'd never have got black people. Because white people have what they call recessive genes. Do you study that? You study recessive genes? You also study dominant genes. You study that? Now, if you study recessive genes and dominant genes, you know that a recessive can never produce a what? A recessive can never produce a dominant. But a dominant can do what? Very good, very good. Some of your fees, went for a good cause. Huh? If you know recessive genes, you can never stay away from that. Recessive genes. No two white cats can produce a black cat. No two white goats can produce a black goat. No two white cows can produce a black cow. No two white chickens can produce a white chicken. And no two albinos, no two white people can produce a black person. Why? Because black is dominant and white is recessive. Which means what? It means you produced white people. If you had begun with white people, if Adam and Eve had been a white person, you would not be here.
That is very profound. If Adam and Eve were white people, then black people would never have existed. This is a very deep revelation. Black has the dominant gene, and then whites have the recessive gene. He also stated some importance of melanin in our skin. He says that melanin protects us against ultraviolet rays of the sun. Melanin controls healing. It also controls fatigue, and melanin gives us corresponding cosmic connection. And I think I really like that a lot. Melanin also gives us dominant genes. So these are some of the advantages of having melanin in your skin. Thank you very much for watching this video. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Don't forget to also subscribe to the channel. Just locate the subscribe button down there. Click on the subscribe button. Click as well on the notification bell. And I would like to see you again in my next video.